Hey, hey, TGIT. Thank God it's today. It is a rainy, chilly day in Texas. And I'm happy to be on here with you guys and share some time with you guys. Be sure to let me know where you're watching from in the comments. I always like to see where everybody's watching from. You guys are like from all over the world, all over the country. It's so amazing to be with you guys all over the world and all over the country. Thank you for being with me. So I'm very nervous right now. As you can see, I'm shaking like a leaf. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of my story. For those of you that don't know, you'll get to understand me a little bit more now. Please say a prayer for me because I am shaking. So my story is that I was in a very abusive marriage for 15 years. And I knew that I was in an abusive marriage, but I didn't really know or understand what domestic abuse was. And I basically felt like I lived in a prison all the time. I had no friends. I had no life. I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything. I was told how to dress, how to do my fingernails. Everything about me was controlled, down to my bikinis. I mean, everything. So it was not a pleasant situation, but I was committed and dedicated to stay with my children no matter what, because they're everything to me. And the only reason I left that situation is because my husband at the time tried to kill me. He choked me here in this home. And so that's when I left the marriage. And that was 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago. And it was the hardest thing ever to come out of, because now I have PTSD, which is why I'm shaking. So if the camera's shaking, I'm sorry, but that's just part of PTSD. And PTSD never goes away. It's always with you. And my counselor explained it pretty effectively to me recently, and so I understood it better. PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, is a movie that's always going to be in your life now. And what happens is a lot of times it's on pause, but things will trigger it and hit play, and then you're back in your moments. So that is part of my life. I can't handle loud noises. I am scared easily. If anybody like walks into a room, I jump like it's not normal. Like I'm way more jumpy than people are. What you don't know about me is, like, I love you guys for the comments. You always tell me I'm pretty and all of that. And I get compliments on my makeup and all of that. But what people don't understand is that every day, sorry, the phone is shaking, just for me to put my makeup on is a struggle. Like, I literally have to stop and breathe and pray and say, God, please help me do this. Please help me do this. And it's a lot worse when it's triggered. So there are days that everything's just a chore. Putting your makeup on, picking out an outfit, sometimes leaving the house. And so I've gotten through that and gotten stronger with much counseling and prayer and reflecting. Unfortunately, the statistics show when someone is in an abusive situation, they statistically get back into another abusive relationship more than not. And we all know how people say, oh, your picker's broken, your picker's broken. And I have felt like that because the last 2 relationships I was in, unfortunately, were also very abusive and very bad. So the following relationship after that one ended up being a con man, and I had to file an eviction notice just to have my home. It was a disaster. And then the next relationship was worse than probably any of them. And I'm still coming through that. And unfortunately, right now, you know, I need you guys to understand what I'm going through. I've gotten phone calls that have told me that I'm in danger and people warning me. And it's really hard for me because of what I've gone through. So this past weekend, I literally stayed in my house all weekend with my alarm on. And I was so scared to go anywhere that I literally had groceries delivered. And it ended up being a personal friend of mine that we were parents together with all the dances. And she's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I can't even leave my house. I'm so scared. So this has been my life, and I'm literally getting phone calls from people that don't know me and don't have my number, but they're being given my number. And so I'm dealing with all of this. I've been on the phone all morning with people that are being given my phone number to talk to me. And it's very scary and it's very hard, but I am trusting God to protect me and my children, especially me, I would say more so myself and my well-being. But the reason I do what I do and the reason I'm on here live now is to help other people, because there are people out there that are in the same situation, and there are people out there that are hurting, and there are people that can't get up and get dressed because of what they've been through. There are people that don't want to get out of bed. And guess what? If you see this put together perfect person, anybody on social media, and you think their life is great and look, they've just got everything going on, you do not know what's going on behind closed doors. You do not know. Nobody has it all together. Okay, guys? I don't have it all together. That's why I'm on here being transparent, because you guys need to know that this is real life and that people struggle. You know, I haven't even been able to go Christmas shopping for my kids yet. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. But I'm trusting God to protect me and get me out of this situation forever. And whatever it is that I feel about that situation, here's how I feel. I'm putting it behind me, and I want nothing to do with that person, and I want nothing to do with the situation. I don't want any more phone calls. I don't want to talk to anybody else about it. I want it behind me because it was not a godly, healthy situation. And what I can tell you is that I read the statistics on the domestic abuse awareness website. And unfortunately, people that do control people and abuse people, they actually will target domestic abuse survivors because they're an easy target. We tend to want to see the good in people. We tend to be empaths, and we want to love people and fix them because we know what it's like to be hurt. And so we give even more. And that is 100% who I am. I want to heal people. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. I want to help others. I want you guys to see what it's really like to go through all of this. And that's why I started vlogging. I want you guys to see the hard times, not just the great times. So I'm telling you guys, if you've been in these situations, please be careful about who you surround yourself with. You have to be more careful than ever if you've been in this type of relationship, because you are being targeted more so than just a normal person. And that is a very sad situation, but these are facts from the domestic abuse site. So I definitely don't want to be dating. I don't want to be targeted anymore. I just want to be God's girl, and I want to help you guys and help the world and just share TGIT and share light and love and help with others. So that's where I'm at with this. Please say a prayer for me, because it's just hard. You know, like every day's hard, and I just literally have to get through it an hour at a time. But I want to thank you guys for your support and your love. And now you kind of understand a little bit more of my background and why it's so difficult. And, you know, just some days are just so difficult. But now I want you to hear my heart that I want all of this behind me. And guess what? You know, God gave me a scripture this morning, and he said, I've got it all handled because you're mine. Vengeance is mine and I will repay. You don't have to do anything. I see all, I know all, and I will reveal all. So I don't have to do it. God Almighty, his eyes never close. He sees everything, and he sees the torture that I'm going through. He sees the torment that I go through, and I will let him defend me, because he is the defender of those who are weak. And yes, I am weak at this point, but I have the strongest God ever, and he sees all of that. He knows everything that happened, and he knows that I was targeted, and I know that too now. He has revealed so much to me, And I will definitely be more careful in the future with any type of relationship. That's friendship, anything. I have no desire to date whatsoever. But when and if that ever does happen, I know now to be more careful and to understand that we do live in a really evil world, and there are really bad people out there that are only out for themselves. I've unfortunately learned that the hard way, but I pray that I have seen it all now and that I can grow from that. The one thing that God told me about my previous relationship when I asked him about it is, he's the means to an end. And I didn't understand what that meant, but I do now. The means to an end is no more being used, no more of these patterns of trying to fix people and think that I can help them through whatever their life situation is. A lot of times you have to let people work on themselves. And that's where I'm at with that. Yes, I want to help other people and you guys and my tribe and just share my own shortcomings and faults with you guys, which I'm doing now. You know, whatever, my picker's broken, but obviously you're a target as well. So that's all encompassing, all part of all of it. But I am being transparent and being authentic and sharing my own faults, because we all have faults. No one's perfect. There's no perfect person out there. But I'm just telling you guys, be careful in your relationships, especially if you've been in an abusive or domestic abuse situation. You need to be more careful than anybody else out there. And you need to let people in your life be vetted by your family, your friends. Do background checks, for God's sake. 2 background checks. I know that sounds crazy, but yeah, we really need to do these things in this world that we're in. I actually had somebody try to get in the truck with me this week on my street. So I am very, very aware of things. And I believe that they were sent there to try to hurt me. And I had to call the police and everything. They were like, let me get in your truck. Walking down the street in the dark, in the rain. You know, these aren't normal things. So I really have to be aware of my surroundings. And all of you guys do. So just be aware and be careful. Be sure to put yourself first in your relationships and look out for yourself, because you have to be complete and whole before you can ever give anything else. Don't be a target. Do the background checks. Vet the people in your life, even friends. I have been in some terrible situations lately because of a trusting heart. But I will not let that change who I am. I will always be the girl with the biggest heart you'll ever know. I will love people. I will love people and care for them. I will not be bitter over this. I will be better. And that's why I'm here, just to make the world a better place and to help others. So I hope this spoke to you guys. I hope one person, all I ever pray for is that one person can learn something from my crazy, crazy mistakes in life. And I take my blame for whatever part I had in that. But I also know that sometimes you are just literally targeted. And I've had a lot of revelation come to me in the last 2 months. And I'm grateful for that, that God saved me literally. He absolutely saved me from what could have been a disastrous rest of my life. Instead, I'm in his hands. I'm safe. I'm protected. If I didn't die in that kitchen 3 years ago, I'm not going anywhere right now. I'm not going anywhere. If God protected me from that, I'm definitely protected now. And I know that. And I thank God for his angels that watch over me. I call upon them every day to protect me. And I'm calling upon them to protect you and your families during this holiday season. I love you guys so much. Thanks for hearing my heart. I'm still shaking. The phone is shaking. I'm sorry, but that's just part of what I have to live with, unfortunately. But I just have to accept that and try to be strong each day. And that's when I say, thank God it's today. I'm grateful for another day. I'm grateful I get to share a message with you guys of hope and restoration. And I know that God has something great in store for me, and he does you too. So if you're here, thank you for being here. Thank you for loving me like you have and supporting me. You guys have no idea. Some days and like this whole weekend, seeing your beautiful little messages to me, it got me through this weekend because I was really scared and alone. And I appreciate you more than you will ever know. I love you, and I'm your girl too. I'm your girl, and I'm God's girl. I love y'all so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank God it's today, TGIT.